you could say your rank, name, company, and billet.
I'm Sgt Nathan Iblings, 3rd Platoon, Lima Company, 1st Squad Leader.
Explain your workup for deployment and how it prepared you for singing.
The workup was pretty short, but it was almost not really. It's pretty much intense. Like the training schedule, we'd go from 2 weeks out in the field, MRX, then to Viper, or we'd be out in the field, we get 2 days off, then go to Bridgeport. It was pretty much nonstop once it started picking up.
What are your thoughts about singing?
Singing as a whole is very dynamic with tribal and different loyalties between the people. It's a very big farming community. We have poppy, wheat, corn. That's pretty much the main focus of these people's lives. Every once in a while, they run into a guy that owns a shop that buys it from there, or from the farmers. But for the most part, it's just a community of people that's farming, trying to make money for their families.
Is this your first time here, or?
Yeah, this is my first time in singing.
Can you explain the difference between singing and you've been at before?
I was in Ramadi before. It was urban, not like this. The biggest difference was actually just the terrain. It was, like I said, urban. A lot more buildings, concrete. Anything in place for you was on the surface. Everything out here, though, is mud and dirt.
What's your responsibility in 3-7?
As a squad leader, I'm responsible for planning the missions that I'm given by my platoon commander, and once I get those missions, I'll make my plan of it, do my PCCs, PCIs, go out on a patrol, be it census or a farmer survey, so much. Whatever comes down the pipe, we handle it, along with it's always gathering some form of intelligence almost. Just if there's people moving out of the area, whatever, the locals come up and talk to us, and whatever we ask them, and then pass that back up to Lima Company, and they do with it what they will.
Good. Can you talk about your experience so far this deployment?
My experience so far in this deployment has been a lot of doing the patrols, getting the census, finding out how many people are in an area, along with farmer survey, and just the problems that these people are having. And we pass it up, and we'll get guidance how to deal with it. Once in a while, we'll find the IEDs that they put in. Locals generally will pull them out to us best they can. Every once in a while, though, we'll get one that they didn't point out to us. Once that happens, we just call EOD, go back to the PB, pick them up, come back and deal with it.
You went with 3-7 last deployment?
No.
Explain the average security patrol.
The average security patrol, we'll get it about 3 days out, and we know what we're doing for the next 3 days or so. Once we get it, we'll start planning for it, and what also needs to be done with that patrol. We'll wake up in the morning, everybody already knows we're going out at what time the day before, and conduct our PCCs, PCIs after the brief. Once we step off, generally there'll be children somewhere around us, and they'll just start asking for chocolate or water or whatnot, and we just stick to our route. Every once in a while we'll come across somebody that we talk to, or somebody that we need to talk to for that patrol. We'll sit down, talk to them for a while, set up security. Once we've accomplished the mission on the patrol, whatever it may be, we'll return back to the PB and conduct our debrief and stand by for the next one.
How do you think the security patrols help like us and help the locals?
The security patrols, if we stop going out on patrols, we lose ground because the people will be influenced by the Taliban or whoever else wants to get gain in that area. Once people start getting influenced and they stop seeing our face, that's when things start to go wrong in the area. Either they're like, hey, Marines aren't around enough, or hey, this guy's got a better offer for me than helping the Marines out or the ISAF forces. And I mean, pretty much it's just the presence of us being here, providing security, is a deterrent, along with it shows the people that there's security out there too, and they're more willing to help us and help the community, their community, instead of just focusing on their little farm.
Could you explain the coin piece that you've done?
I don't know if you want the honest answer on that one.
Or how you think that the coin piece helps, or
all right. On coin, everybody's got a part to play in it. Ours is the security part, along with actually taking what the locals are telling us to heart and seeing if we can do something about it. And if we can, then we do something about it. If not, we try to point them in the right direction. So that way we don't end up just telling them, hey, good luck, see you later. You know, we actually try to give them some direction on somebody that could help them, even if it's just pointing them to tell them to go to a different PB. But that's all I got, man. I don't agree with it. Locals. Jesus.
How you feel about the locals and just how they interact with you and how you interact with them?
All right. Interaction with the locals on patrol, you can't help but interact with them, because they're either going to come up to you, either say hello, or you're going to need to go talk to them. It's a big piece of it is somewhat community relations, where when you come up to them, you say hello, hey, how are you doing? All right, and then you keep walking, but it's still still them seeing your face and you talking to them. Every once in a while you'll get one that comes up with a problem, and you either try to help them with the problem, or you get guidance and send them somewhere else where they can actually get help with the problem. Yeah, that's about it for a moment.
How do you think the locals feel about us being here?
Alright, how I feel about the locals feeling about us being here. I think the locals honestly are easily influenced by something for them to gain. They'll be influenced by it and they'll want to be on that side, and it's natural. But if somebody comes in and threatens them, they're going to go with that because they don't want to get hurt. Yeah, we come in to help them, they'll come with us. I mean, I think the locals are happy that we're here on one aspect, but in the other aspect, I don't think it'd matter either way to them, because they still got their farm to go to every night and take care of.
What's your most memorable moment so far this deployment? Funny, sad, exciting?
I don't want to time anybody out. Jackson Range shooting at us, that was funny as shit. D-Word was wigging out.
Oh. You don't have anything. It's cool.
No, it's not appropriate. Yeah, I'll pass.
Alright. What's the hardest part or daily struggle you have so far?
The hardest part of this deployment is staying focused. we operate mainly in the southern green zone now, where almost everything's buried and it's hard to pick up ground signs. So with the knowing that every step you might be stepping on something and keeping that focus for a 6-hour patrol and then having it again the next day before you go back out, it's tough. And it's tough to keep Marines in the same train of thought that they need to be cautious of every step that they take, and if they see someone, say something.
Are you on the firefight discipline at all?
Nope. Jackson was the closest one. Thank you.
How do you feel about working alongside the ANSTAF forces? And how do you think like they are doing?
How they're doing? Okay.
Horrible.
Yeah. All right. Working along ANSTAF is it's essential to our mission here because the people need to see that Afghan face on it and be like, hey, the government's actually doing something. But the ANSTAF still have a long way to go before they're perfectly capable of holding a sustainment operation against an insurgency. But I think they're picking it up slowly but surely. They're picking it up, and eventually, at some point in time, they'll be ready to handle it.
What are you doing your downtime when you're bored? What keeps you busy?
Downtime and boredom. For me, when I got downtime, I'll probably end up going to sleep because when we work, it's some serious hours. So generally, it's just sleeping. If we got the ability to call home, give a phone call home real quick. A lot of the Marines end up going to the gym or what have you. Just really anything we can find to keep our minds occupied.
Describe the weather conditions that we've had.
All right. Weather conditions for this deployment have been cold and miserable for the majority of it. It's only now starting to warm up. Along with it being cold and miserable, it tends to rain every once in a while, and then being in the southern green zone, that leaves us with knee-deep mud that we got to go through. So generally that's about it. She's cold and miserable.
Describe the terrain.
Alright, terrain in the southern green zone, it's for the most part all farmland. We got a little bit of brown zone in there, but it's all farmlands that get irrigated all the time, so at points you'll end up with knee-deep mud. A lot of canals that run from the Helmand River down to the locals' fields. Crossing those is always fun. You never know if you're going to make it or not, or if you're going to end up going swimming.
Have you guys had vets and CAG and heck guys go with you guys? Do you want to say anything on the role that they play, if it's important or not?
No.
How'd you celebrate your holidays here?
Celebrated holidays. Every holiday here we've celebrated with a patrol, minus one around Christmas where we got odd mend. But after that it was generally just hang up some stuff that the family sends you and bust out the holiday UGR.
How do you feel about being part of 37?
That's a tough one. It really doesn't matter. Alright. Being a part of 3-7 has been a good experience with me. I've enjoyed a lot of the Marines that I've worked around, and I'm glad I ended up coming here and got to spend some time with these guys.
And I have one more question. Like, how do you feel about like, how often do you get to talk to your family and, like, I don't know, what we have here, like, how does it help you, like, I don't know, keep a piece of home, like, still here?
Talking about like the M-dub and everything.
Yeah.
Talking to family is always nice. You got to manage it so you stay focused. Every once in a while, though, you do need to get on and call your family and realize that there's still things going on back home that you would enjoy hearing about, and you can't just completely write it off.
What are your final thoughts about deployment? Anything?
This is my first time in Afghanistan. I think the ANSAP need a lot more work, but eventually they'll get there. I think they rely on us really heavily, but slowly, surely they'll get there.
Is there anything you would like to add?
No, that's it.